Hi, I'm Maya, your favorite Filipina insider, and today we are going where most people are too afraid to step. We're talking about intimacy, but not in the way you think. Listen closely because what I'm about to say might bruise your ego, but it will save your legacy. Most of you Western men over 60 come here thinking your wallet is your biggest asset when it comes time to get close. You think that because you have the resources, you have the control. Let me give you a brutal reality check. In the Philippines, your wallet isn't your asset, it's your biggest liability. If you treat intimacy like a cold Western transaction, you aren't a boyfriend or a fiance. You are nothing more than a temporary ATM with a very short expiration date. You're being played and you don't even know it. Today, I'm exposing the 5 fatal mistakes that turn your romantic dream into a financial and emotional nightmare before you even take your shoes off. If you want to find a woman who actually respects you, rather than just waiting for your next bank transfer, you need to hear this. If you're too sensitive for the raw truth, close this video immediately. But if you want to be the man who actually has the power, stay right here. Your future depends on what I'm about to reveal. Let's strip away the postcards and those filtered profile pictures for a moment. I know exactly why you're here. You arrived with a suitcase full of hope and a heart that's been hardened by the cold, transactional nature of the dating scene back home. In your own country, you're often made to feel invisible, like your decades of hard work, your wisdom, and your depth of character are somehow less valuable than a 30-year-old's social media following. Then you land in Manila or Cebu, and suddenly you're the center of the universe. It's intoxicating, isn't it? To finally feel seen, respected, and physically desired again. But I need to tell you something somber, something most guides will never admit. That paradise you think you've discovered is often a carefully constructed stage play. The apps you're scrolling through aren't romantic retreats. They are marketplaces of survival. Behind those sweet, "I miss you" messages is a desperate, crushing pressure you can't even imagine. A young woman with a family to feed, a leaking roof to fix, and a culture that has taught her that a man's affection is a commodity to be managed. It's a silent, brutal machinery of necessity. And listen to me, it is not your fault that you don't see the gears turning. You aren't a fool, and you aren't naive for wanting a connection. You are a decent man who believes that a woman's smile is a direct reflection of her heart. You come from a world where "I love you" is a lifetime commitment, not a negotiation tactic for a new smartphone or a family debt. You've been playing a high-stakes game without the manual, against players who have been practicing these moves since they were teenagers. I'm not here to mock your vulnerability. I'm here to arm it. I understand your loneliness and your fear of being made a fool. You've spent your life building a legacy. You deserve to share it with someone who actually guards it, not someone who is just waiting for the next withdrawal. Now, let's talk about the real rules of the house. To understand how intimacy works here, I want you to imagine a traditional Filipino fiesta. Picture the street lined with colorful banners, the smell of roasted pig, our famous lechon, filling the air, and a house overflowing with generations of family. In your world, if you're invited to a party, you walk in, grab a plate, and head straight for the best cuts of meat. You brought a gift, you're a guest, and you expect to be served. You see what you want, and you take it. Simple, transactional, and direct. But in a Filipino home, there is a hidden seating chart that your Western eyes can't see. If you are the guest who rushes to the buffet table the moment the doors open, piling your plate high with the crispy skin before the elders have even sat down, something subtle but fatal happens. No one will stop you. In fact, they will smile and offer you more. But the room will internally go silent. You have just branded yourself as low class, greedy, and fundamentally disrespectful. You'll be fed, yes, but you will never be invited into the inner circle. You are just a tourist passing through, someone to be harvested and then forgotten once the food is gone. Intimacy in the Philippines works exactly like that fiesta. If you approach a woman with a vacation mindset, trying to fast-track the physical connection because you've paid for dinners or sent a few balikbayan boxes, you are just the guy rushing the buffet. You might get the taco you're looking for in the short term, but you have forfeited the respect that leads to genuine devotion. In the West, you play for the win. Here, we play for the seating. If you want the premium cuts, the loyalty, the protection of your assets, and a woman who actually cares if you wake up tomorrow, you have to stop acting like a hungry tourist and start learning how to earn your seat at the table. Now, let's look at the first way you're accidentally insulting the chef. Now that you understand the invisible ledger, let's look at the 5 fatal mistakes that will either get you a loyal partner or turn you into a harvested crop. Pay attention, because these are the rules of the house that no one tells you until your bank account is empty. Mistake number 1. The public trophy blunder. Back home, you might want to show off your beautiful young girlfriend. You want to hold her hand tightly, kiss her in the mall, or drape your arm over her in front of her neighbors. To you, it's a sign of affection. To her, it's a red alert for "Haya," which means deep, crushing shame. You see, in the Philippines, a good girl from a decent family maintains a modest image in public, regardless of what happens behind closed doors. When you demand constant public displays of affection, you aren't showing her off. You are branding her as a working girl in the eyes of her community. If she feels like a trophy you bought, her tactical brain kicks in. She will start charging you reputation taxes. If you make her look low class, she will ensure you pay a high class price. She will resent you for the whispers behind her back, and that resentment will turn into a cold, calculated effort to get what she can before she leaves to find her dignity elsewhere. If you want her loyalty, respect her social standing. Keep the sweet dessert for the privacy of your home. Show her respect in the streets, and she will show you a level of devotion in the sheets that you've never experienced. Mistake number 2, the direct payment insult. This is where most Western men over 60 fail miserably. You've been conditioned to think everything is a transaction. You think that after you've watered the garden or tasted the forbidden fruit, you should hand over a stack of pesos as a thank you. Stop. Right there. In our culture, intimacy is tied to utang na loob, a debt of gratitude and emotional connection. When you hand her cash immediately after the act, you have just stripped away the romance and replaced it with a service fee. You've told her, "You are a commodity and I am a customer." Once you are a customer, you are no longer the king. You are just a job. And every employee eventually looks for a better paying boss. If you want to support her, and I know you do, Never do it in the bedroom. Wait a few days. Provide general support for a specific family need, like a Lolo's medicine or a school fee. It keeps the intimacy sacred while proving you are a provider. This is how you secure her heart instead of just renting her time. By the way, if you're finding this insider truth valuable, I have a private list where I share the specific red flag phrases and deep cultural hacks that are too hot for the YouTube algorithm. It's a free resource for men who are serious about their safety and happiness here. Check the link in the description to join the inner circle. Now, let's get to the mistake that ruins more lives than any other. Mistake number 3, ignoring the invisible third person. In the West, you date a woman. In the Philippines, you date a clan. You might think that once you've visited the inner sanctuary, you have a private bond. You don't. There is always an invisible third person in the room. Her mother. The family's opinion dictates her long-term loyalty. If the family perceives you as a fast-track tourist who is only there to pick the mango and leave, they will instruct her to squeeze you for every centavo while your visa lasts. If the mother doesn't bless your closeness, your girlfriend will eventually distance herself to stop the family gossip. She won't tell you why. She'll just become busy or tired. To win the daughter's total devotion, you must first win the gatekeeper's approval. A small, respectful gift for the mother or a polite conversation with the uncle does more for your intimacy than a dozen roses ever could. Win the family, and they will guard you against other predators. Mistake number 4, confusing service with submissiveness. This is a trap for the ego. A Filipina will treat you like a king. She will cook, clean, massage your feet, and anticipate your every need. Many men over 60 see this and think, finally, a woman who knows her place. She's submissive. This is a fatal error. In our culture, the woman is the traditional manager of the household. She is the silent boss. If you treat her like a servant because she provides service, she will stop being your protector and start being your tax collector. She will begin to tax your bank account through imaginary emergencies, lost phones, and sick water buffaloes. You won't even notice the leak until the pool is empty. She isn't weak. She is nurturing the asset, you. If you want the balance of care to stay in your favor, treat her like the queen who manages the king's castle. Appreciation is the only currency that keeps her from overcharging you. Mistake number 5, the fast track trap. You're here on a 3-week vacation and you want to harvest the crop in the first 48 hours. You think because you're 60 and she's 24, the clock is ticking. But listen closely. Rushing into physical closeness marks you as a tourist. And in the Philippines, tourists are meant to be harvested, dried, and forgotten. A partner is someone who is willing to wait for the connection. When you slow down, you signal that you are building a foundation, not just looking for a quick dip. The long game is where the real power lies. If you show her you value her mind and her culture before you water the garden, she will give you a level of loyalty that money can't buy. If you rush, you're just the guy at the buffet table. And believe me, the leftovers are never as sweet as the premium cuts reserved for the man who knows how to wait. If you found this strange, wait until you hear the most expensive thing you can buy in the Philippines: silence. But here's the truth that will keep you awake at night. The one mistake that feels like a victory but is actually a death sentence for your relationship. Most Western men of your generation are traumatized by the high maintenance demands of women back home. So when you find a Filipina who is perfectly quiet, you think you've hit the jackpot. She doesn't ask for a new phone, she doesn't mention her brother's tuition, and she never brings up a leaking roof after you've visited the sanctuary. You think, finally, a woman who loves me for me and isn't after my wallet. Let me break your heart to save your life. In the Philippines, the real danger isn't when she asks for help, it's when she stops. In our culture, when a woman truly commits her heart and her body to a man, she integrates him into her survival. She treats his strength as the foundation of their shared future. If she is silent, if she is cheap to keep, and if she never lets you into the financial noise of her life, it means you aren't a partner. You are a placeholder. You are a guest in a hotel who is being treated with polite, professional distance until the checkout time arrives. She is giving you the silence of a transaction because she has already decided you are temporary. She is likely getting her real needs met elsewhere, or she is simply filling time until a better option appears. Silence in the Philippines is the most expensive thing you can buy because it is the price of a woman who has already checked out emotionally. If she doesn't trust you with her problems, she doesn't trust you with her heart. Your ego wants the easy woman, but a wise man knows that a woman who asks for nothing is usually planning to give nothing in return. If your relationship feels like a silent, perfect movie, it's because it's a performance. Real devotion is loud, integrated, and sometimes demanding. If it's too quiet, you're already alone. I know I've just dragged you through the mud of reality, and you might be feeling a bit bruised or even a little cynical right now. But take a deep breath, because I'm not here to leave you in the dark. I tell you these brutal truths so you can finally step into the light. Despite every trap and every player I've exposed, the Philippines remains the most beautiful place on earth for a good man to find a love that is pure, loyal, and life-changing. Listen to me closely. Your 60 years aren't a countdown. They are your crown. You possess a depth of character, a quiet wisdom, and a stability that the immature boys of 20 could never dream of. In our culture, a mature man who knows how to lead with respect is a rare and precious prize. There are thousands of wonderful, traditional, and genuinely affectionate Filipinas who are praying for a man exactly like you. Someone who can offer the emotional security they crave. Now that you know where the holes in the road are, you don't have to fear the journey. You are no longer a target. You are an informed king. You've worked hard your entire life, and you deserve a partner who guards your peace and values your heart. True love across these borders isn't just a fantasy. It's a reality waiting for the man who is patient and wise. Stand tall. Your future is bright, and now you finally have the map to get there safely. I've given you the keys to the kingdom today, but remember, a key only works if you have the steady hand to turn it. Don't just listen, apply this. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced that expensive silence I warned you about? Or has a woman's family ever been the wall you couldn't climb? Tell me your story in the comments below. Your wisdom might just save another man's heart. My mission here is simple: to make this world a little less lonely and to ensure that good, hard-working men like you find the companionship you've actually earned. If this insider talk saved you from a costly disaster today, feel free to support my work. A small tip goes a long way here. It might buy a bucket of Jollibee chicken for my family, or a cold bottle of San Miguel for me to toast to your future happiness. Salamat for your time. Stay sharp and stay respected. Ingat and good luck out there.